Welcome to the Monday Money Tip Podcast presented by Fully Funded Life. My name is Joseph Single, also known as Joe, just your regular Joe, helping you win with your money and live a fully funded life. My co-host is Megan Hibbard, as always, and we are kicking off Memorial Day. It's May 29th.
Happy Memorial Day.
That's right. I've got some Memorial Day memories. Before we dive into all the content of our podcast, I thought we'd reflect on Memorial Day and what it means. Mm-hmm. And, it is Memorial Day. It's a moment to remember those who paid the ultimate sacrifice, those who handed a blank check to the government, and it included their life, and they gave their life. And, I want to call attention to those in my family who've served. My twin brother, Captain John Sangle, who served in the U.S. Army, and my brother number 4, who was a private first class enlistee in the U.S. Army. I remember when he left. At 17 years old, we dropped him off at a hotel in Indianapolis, Indiana. And he had a beautiful, blonde, curly mullet. And he went and he says that he walked in to get his hair cut. And they said, "Would you like to have a half-inch soldier or a quarter-inch?"
Oh.
And he said, "A half-inch." And they were just lying to him. They took it down to the skin. It was hilarious. And it changed both their lives. It's amazing. My twin brother served in Korea for a year and also served at Fort Bragg, and I got to watch him make 2 airborne jumps, his 4th and 5th jumps at Fort Benning, Columbus, Georgia, and I got to put the wings on him. When he was commissioned, I was able to put one of the butter bars on his arm. And then we went to my brother Keith's basic training graduation at Fort Lost in the Woods, Fort Leonard Wood, and Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri. And man, when we saw him, we both decided we were joining the Army. My twin made good on it 6 years later. I've yet to go. And then the one who made the ultimate sacrifice, my uncle Paul Barman, who I never met because he was in World War II. He and my great aunt got married, and they were married, and he went to the military, and they were married less a year because he got killed behind enemy lines.
Wow.
And so, and my uncle Bud, my aunt-in-law's brother, he was sick and in the infirmary off of his ship in Pearl Harbor when they were bombed. I never once heard him talk about it. He could not bring himself to talk about it.
Wow.
And so he was on the USS Sacramento, which did not suffer a lot of damage, but a lot of the ships there, as you know, did. So Memorial Day.
Yeah.
It's a time to remember.
Yeah.
Do you have any memories or anything you want to share?
Yeah. My grandfather was, both Jordan and I have grandparents that were in the service, and I have a cousin that was in the service, and it definitely, huge sacrifice. And I think.
Did they ever talk about it really?
My grandfather would some, to ask him questions. I think I interviewed him one time for like a school project.
Really? That's awesome.
Yeah. And I think I got it on, I recorded the audio of it. So
wow.
I should go back and see if I can find that at my parents' house. But yeah, definitely, I don't know how it couldn't change you. So, Jordan's dad was in Afghanistan as a contract pilot, so he flies. And so he wasn't necessarily like in military. He was a contractor for the military, but still, you're over there, you
safe.
see things, he was there for the beginning of when Jordan and I were dating. So his dad was always like you always talk about, you never see just because he was gone. But, super thankful for them and all their service and, what they do. And I don't know how you couldn't leave something like that changed. So,
and I remember our Memorial Days growing up 30 minutes south of Indianapolis, Indiana. Well, we have a big event that happened yesterday, unless it got rained out. We're recording this a couple weeks ahead, and that is the Indianapolis 500. And they always have an amazing Memorial Day, parade and, honoring those who've served. So it's awesome. And I remember, growing up in a household that had no TV. I grew up with no TV. And my TV was outdoors, and it was in 3D and full color. And I remember that they wouldn't broadcast the Indianapolis 500 locally anyhow. They would black it out because they wanted you to go to the race.
Oh, I was like, that's
and so we would go to church, and then we would go, my dad would get the big Oldsmobile, and we would go to Kentucky Fried Chicken and get a giant bucket of chicken. And I'm not talking about these pigeon wings that they serve now. I mean, the chickens back then, I mean, they had some legs, and they had some wings and some thighs and some chicken breasts, and we would eat that 11 secret herb and spices at the park. He would open up the trunk, and we would sit at the table, and at the rear of the big old giant 1974 Oldsmobile Delta 88 Royale. That was the name of it. Can you believe that?
It's like you have to
Google
take a breath
that.
in the middle of the
Maybe we could have a
same
picture
car.
of that. Maybe we could have a picture of it. It was lime green. Talk to Jeff, our producer here, if you can find a lime green one. If not, get the copper tone one. So we had a copper tone 74. We had a lime green 73 Oldsmobile Delta 88 Royale. It was awesome. And we would eat chicken and listen to Emerson Fittipaldi and Rick Mears and Mario Andretti, who would lead the whole race. And the most famous words were, and Mario Andretti is slowing down on the backstretch after like lapping everybody 100 times. And Al Unser Sr., Al Unser Jr., just all the names that I didn't know there were other races. I thought there was one race in the world one time a year.
Oh, wow.
And that was Indy 500. That's my limited knowledge of the world.
No.
Did you guys ever do something every Memorial Day?
Yeah, so every Memorial Day, my parents still do it, but we go to the beach with their friends from college, and
They still have friends from college
yeah,
that they hang out with?
they're like
That's awesome.
family. Like, it's just like, for me, like, it's
So
not
they
even
see each
like
other,
friends.
get married, have kids, have grandkids.
Yeah, they're at everything. They,
That's awesome.
you know, like my parents still go down. They go out throughout the year and they all get together. But every Memorial Day weekend, we would all go. And sometimes it was 50 people. Sometimes it was 60 or 70. Like, the group kept growing. People kept getting married and having babies. And, but yeah, that's just a family.
That's
so
great.
that's just what we did. We went there. And
So you became friends with their friends' kids.
oh yeah, they're like all like, we just grew up together and did things
Now you're
together.
Facebook friends and get to see everything.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
They all live all over the place. So it's really cool to see.
And so today is the Memorial Day episode, and we do appreciate everybody who served. Maybe you could comment in the comment section about the people that you're honoring on this Memorial Day and the branch of service in which they did serve. And we are going to give an update. As we venture into summer, we thought it'd be a really good time. We used to have a special section that I would sing out. Can I do it?
Sure.
Am I allowed?
Yes.
It is time for the current money event section. Dun, 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 dun. Did you like it?
Yes.
Yeah, you missed it. I know you did.
I did.
And so we actually have the computer screen pulled up, and
Yes.
we're going to give updates on all the different financial things that affect our lives. We're going to talk about interest rates. We're going to talk about savings interest rates, mortgage interest rates, CD rates. Our good goal is to just inform you. We're going to even talk about the national debt. Get fired up.
Get ready.
Okay, so what should we start with?
Yeah, so let's start with mortgages.
Okay. Well, listen, one of the great places that I like that aggregates this data is bankrate.com. Now, they don't pay us to sponsor them or to promote them,
Maybe they should.
but maybe they should. And right here, hey, Bankrate folks, hit us up. But it allows us to see what type of loan we're looking for. So this is a mortgage loan. I clicked under mortgages, today's mortgage rates, 30-year, 15-year, in the sort. And if we're buying a house or if we're refinancing, let's say we're buying a house and we want to look at it. And what I like to see here, I just want to show you on the screen here. You can click purchase or refinance. You can type in your zip code. So I'm going to type in the zip code of our town here, Anderson, South Carolina. And let's say we're buying a house for $390,000, which was preloaded, and we're putting 5% down. Okay. Good credit score. You can put in different credit scores here. But let's say it 780. Our goal is to help everybody as part of their fully funded life to have an excellent credit score. And one of the things I want to make sure you look at is this filters here, the more filters. Because if you notice down below these here, it will say points. Well, I want to get everything on the same level. So I'm going to say 0 points. Very important. And now I can get an apples to apples comparison. All of them are 0 points. And we can see right now that the rate on a 30-year fixed is 6 to 6 1/8 to 6 3/8. And now you can get 15-year fixed down to 5 3/8, but the average is around 5.5. It shows the monthly payment, the upfront cost that it would take, and you can link to it. Something I also find fascinating is being able to look at this from a perspective of what has happened trend-wise. And you can see since January, the rates were averaging around 30 for a 30-year fixed, around 6.59%. They got as high as 7.13%. They dipped back down to 6.73, and now they're averaging around 6.94% overall. If you look at 15 years, they've kind of followed, but they follow around 0.5% or what they would call 50 basis points lower. Why? Because the bank is taking less risk. If they're saying, hey, we're giving you 30 years to repay, that's way more risk than I'm giving you 15 years to take this risk. And so you can click here in the filters. You can click on this loan term and you can off click. Like if you're interested in only, 15-year fixed, then you can off click everything else, click done, and you can see every single person who they've got linked in here offering a 15-year fixed. Okay. If you only want to look at 30-year fixed, well, then you can get rid of the 15-year fixed and be able to go to, just 30-year, and it's 6 to 6 3/8 or so. And then they'll on here say only a few others matched, so they'll show you 15 and 20 years. Isn't that pretty cool?
Yeah.
Now, what is the zip code around where you grew up in Raleigh? Because you'll remember that.
27519.
27519. And let's search that one. And it's saying there that it's around 6%. I mean, a lot of 6%, 6 1/8. So it's a little different based on where you live. Isn't that neat?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's mortgage interest rates. Let's look at some other things. What are some other things we should look at?
Maybe the next one is savings accounts.
Savings accounts. So we can look under banking, savings accounts. Now, we have our favorites, but a lot of these say deposit amount, $25,000. I want you to put $1 in there and get rid of money markets and money market IRAs. And we can see that Lending Club right now is offering 4.25%. Okay, but that when we look at it, they do have a minimum balance of $0. It does say you'll need $100 to open the account. Okay. And then Citizens is offering 4.25% with $1 minimum balance. Basque Bank is another one. And then Bankrate will list their take on these banks. Okay. So they're looking at Basque Bank and say this is brand new. So, but it doesn't offer ATM access. So our favorite that we offer or we tell all the time is Marcus. So let's go to Marcus, marcus.com. It's my favorite. And right now under a savings account, the high yield savings account is paying 3.90%. And every time the federal funds rate changes, they change the rate within about 10 days. And so that's really important. Zero account fees, no minimum deposit.
So we also recommend Ally.
Ally.
So it's funny, I kept getting emails from Ally being like, well, we don't know how else to say it. Rates are going up. Like your interest is increasing. And then literally the email said like, we don't know how else to tell you, but it's going up. And I'm like, well, I don't mind getting that email, but it was just funny because I think they sent so many for like in a short period of time when the rates kept going up that it was like, and another email, and another email.
Yeah. What's interesting is, Ally is only at 3.75% only.
Yeah.
The reason I bring this up is so many people still have their money at big banks.
Yeah.
And big banks, I don't know how they're getting away with it.
Like
they're
0.
still paying 0.01% to no more than 0.5%.
Yeah.
So I just want to tell all you savers, make sure you're getting your money to earn interest. Marcus, Ally, these others that we just shared with you. And here's what I would just say. Maybe you don't have a lot of savings, or maybe you do. But if you have parents who have a lot of money sitting in savings, hey, go advocate for them. Go tell them, hey, you don't even have to do a CD these days to get some interest.
Yeah.
Speaking of CDs, we could probably show that too. Go back to bankrate.com, click on CDs, click on savings and that sort of thing. I don't want to look at CD IRAs, but I am going to look at maybe 1 month terms. And say, let's just look at 1 month ones and 1 month to 6 months. Right now, they're paying around 4.25%. That's Goldman Sachs Bank. That's Marcus. Now, if you look at Goldman Sachs high yield CDs, they have a 12-month one that's paying 4.75. They do have a 10-month one that is paying 5.05% right now. So you can look at that. And it has a 10-day CD rate guarantee. If they go up, you will get more, which is pretty amazing.
Yeah.
So CDs have went way up. I mean, you and I have sat in this podcast how many times and said, the CD's paying 0.5%. Why would you ever lock up your money for any period of time?
5%.
0.5%. But 5%? Yeah, that's worth paying attention to.
But interesting. Apple just released a new savings account too.
Yeah.
What do you know about that?
Well,
What have you
Goldman
heard?
Sachs, which manages Marcus, is the bank that they've partnered with.
Oh, wow.
And it's paying 4.15%. I haven't had the time to fully explore it, but it's connected with the fact that you have to have Apple Pay set up. A lot of people aren't comfortable with that. I don't think there's any reason you shouldn't be comfortable with that. But that's one of the things that they require is they really want to make sure you're in that Apple ecosystem to take advantage of that type of savings. But they're paying 4.15%, which is a full quarter point higher than what Marcus is paying right now.
Yeah.
Okay,
I
so I'm
gotta do
looking
something. Yeah.
Great. Thanks
All right.
for bringing it up.
The next one, credit cards.
Credit cards.
Bum,
Okay,
bum, bum.
now we're going to go to a link, Lending Tree, and be able to look at those. And I thought this was an interesting post that I saw. It was updated April 21st, 2023. It's from lendingtree.com. We'll put it on the screen here. You can see the title. Average credit card interest rate in America today. Pretty good one to look at.
Yeah.
And so it said, do you want to read this first line? Read this first line here. I think this is really interesting.
The average credit card interest rate in America today is 23.84%, the highest since Lending Tree began tracking rates monthly in 2019.
So in the last 4 years, it's went up to 23.84%, which seems laughable after we just talked about, man, it's really good. You could get 5.05% on a CD.
Yeah.
So let me help you understand what banks do, right? They let you lend them money. That's called savings deposits. And then they lend it back out to people on credit cards and get 23% on average. And they make money on what's called the spread.
Yeah.
Okay?
It's quite the spread.
So every month, Lending Tree reviews about 200 of the most popular credit cards in the U.S. from more than 50 issuers to comprehensively look at the state of credit card interest rate. And what I thought was interesting is we can see this chart here. I really want to make sure we show this chart to you if you're watching on YouTube. But they have the average APR, the 0% balance transfer cards, no annual fee. So the rewards cards, they look at all the different ones. And they actually show what it is versus the previous month, which I think is really interesting. And it says it comes on the heels of the Federal Reserve's second interest rate hike of 2023. Now, I just wanted to share this because while if you're a saver, interest rates going up is helpful to you. If you're a debtor, interest rates going up is a bad deal. Many people, what I'm seeing to keep the housing market moving, are doing non-traditional loans again. The stuff that really got us in trouble in 2007, where they're like, hey, it's at this lower interest rate, 4% for a year, and then it goes to prevailing rate. Well, I was just speaking with a person in Canada. They will not lend for 15, 20, 30 years. They will lend on 5-year increments at best. And then you have to renew your mortgage or reevaluate it or move it.
Wow.
And a lady that I was talking with literally has had her mortgage payment go up $450 a month.
Wow.
And on a fixed income, that is a disaster.
Yeah.
So we really encourage you, be paying attention to this. And if you locked in your house when Megan did, you're going to want to keep that interest rate for a long time.
Super thankful.
Hey, our last thing that we're going to talk about as we're updating this is what?
A fan favorite, the national debt.
The national debt.
Where
Now
Joe gets
listen,
spicy.
Joe got feisty one time, and I believe that episode got deleted.
It did.
Joe went off the rails.
Went way,
at a level
way
that
rogue.
I don't know if anybody has ever seen me go off the rails. I don't know that I was prepared for it. I personally got a little fired up, and
I'm still thinking about it.
I said words that I
You
should not say.
did. I
really
was like, "What happened?"
I had to
No
go
need to
repent
be
after that one.
embarrassed. No need to be
Lord,
embarrassed.
forgive me.
It's just like
So somebody's got it on tape. They're going to use it against me someday.
it just happened.
And let me tell you, it wasn't the big bomb words.
No.
I
It was
don't
not
use
bad at
big
all.
bomb
No,
words, and I didn't know I used that word either.
it was not bad. It was not bad.
I think I said heck fire or something like that.
It was not bad.
Yeah.
No.
Anyhow,
It was just
we're going to use it
uncharacteristic.
and use what we call unnecessary bleeps and bleep out words and then let you guess, all of our listeners guess what we said. But here we go. We could use the bleep here. The national debt is...
You can't even
Okay,
do
what did I
it. You don't
say?
even know what to do.
Okay, put a bleep in there, okay? What did I say? Okay, I'm going to do it again. The U.S. national debt is... Okay, now what do you think I said? All right, let's replay it. And so the U.S. national debt is high. Okay, that's what I really said. See, so what did you think I say? So here's what I know is that was kind of fun, wasn't it? Did it make you uncomfortable a little bit?
A little.
Made me uncomfortable. So the national debt, look at this. Just zoom in on this. Oh, the national debt right now. Can you look at all those commas?
There's a lot
Is the national debt going up or down? Tell everybody.
Very fast going up.
So it's let's time how long it takes it to go up $1 million. I'm gonna get my phone here. Gotta hurry here.
Yeah. Go.
Oh, did I miss it?
No.
Let's see.
Getting close.
It's getting close. It's getting ready to click over. Tell me when to go.
I'm nervous. Go.
Okay, we started it. We started the clock. So we're currently at $31.7 trillion of national debt. If you divide that amongst every citizen in the United States, man, woman, and child, how much is it per person?
Per citizen. I have to get closer because those numbers are. There you go. There we go. 94,731.
So if you're a family of 5, like Megan's family, then you guys have $500,000 of debt. Congratulations.
No problem.
Now watch this. We're getting ready to click over. The nation about spent $1 million. Tell me when to stop.
Stop.
40.08 seconds.
Like
the United States just went in debt another $1 million in 40 seconds. How many times is there 40 seconds in a day? So that's 0.66 of a minute.
A lot.
So there's 24 hours times 60 minutes, 1,440 divided by 0.66. So that's literally $2 billion a day.
Astronomical.
Mommy. Okay, I don't know what just happened. However, every citizen does not pay taxes. Like, does Logan pay taxes?
Nope.
Although he's so handsome.
He is.
And he should be modeling and getting paid some money for it. He should wear those little Levi jeans or whatever the blue jeans are with a nice little belt buckle and little flannel shirts with this. And he should be sitting there posing and then have some hair product there and get some advertising. He could have his own Instagram channel.
He could.
He'll make bank. But he doesn't have income, so he doesn't pay taxes. So debt per taxpayer is how much?
Yep. So it's $247,766.
Get fired up. $250,000 per taxpayer. Does anybody think any of what's happening is good? I mean,
no. That's
kind of insane. So here's something that I just wanted to share. The U.S. federal debt to GDP ratio, it was around 53%. GDP is the gross domestic product, the value of everything we produce as a nation in a year. The federal debt was about 53% of that in 1960. In 1980, it drifted all the way down to 1/3 of that, 34%.
Yeah.
In 2000, it was up to 58.23%. But guess where it is now? 120% of it. That is insane and has got to change, because if we don't fix it, our nation is going to fail. Okay, maybe we could bleep that and then we could replay it to see what it said. Okay. But here's what I would just say. Our nation is going to fail. It just won't work. And right now, there's a big debate going on in Congress about how to increase the debt limit, how to increase the credit card. And, the Democrats, they want the Republicans to just pass a clean, you bump it up $2 trillion. Let's just go. But the Republicans, they realize that the Democrats really need this, so the Republicans are suddenly becoming fiscally responsible. You need to reduce some spending. Now, when the Republicans were in control, they wanted a clean bill passed to increase the debt limit. And the Democrats, for some reason, said, you guys need to be fiscally responsible. And I don't know how dumb they think the U.S. citizens are, but do they not know that 2 years for a congressman's House of Representatives term goes by really fast, or 6 years for a senator, or 4 years for a president, and that humans are not dumb and we remember?
That's true.
Like, do they not think that Instagram, Reels, YouTube, TikTok, and all that stuff doesn't record everything they do and say? So I remember all of them, and they all a bunch of spenders and a bunch of liars. And so, listen, y'all, Congress, presidents, do better. And let's stop this. Let's help. Let's help them. And I want our podcast listeners, I'm going off the rails a little bit. But I'm going to give you some next steps to take. You ready?
Don't you worry.
I'm taking these steps. I've taken these steps several times. Your step that you can take personally is build margin and don't live this way. Secondly, write your representatives. Write them. I write them regularly. And I write, the Senate Majority Leader, the Senate Minority Leader. I write, those that are the leaders in Congress, and I write our U.S. President. And I write my senators, and I write my representative. And they get letters from me all the time. I'm sure they love them. They respond to every one of them. I'm sure their page does, or whoever it is, their intern. But you know what? Here's the fact. The greatest thing you can do is let your voice be heard. It's one of the greatest things of America is that our voice, we can share it. And we can demand accountability from those who should represent us. I want to leave this country in better shape financially than it was when I was living. And so I want to hand it off to the kids and the grandkids better. So do you. I suspect our listeners do as well. Money is always changing. Rates change. Dynamics change. Build margin. Prepare and follow your monthly budget. Obtain wise counsel. And we hope you'll keep being a part of our podcast because we're going to keep you informed of this. And it's our objective to help you live a fully funded life. Any last words you want to say?
I feel like watching this clock here is overwhelming. We should have timed it from the start of the podcast to the end of the podcast. That would have been interesting.
Well, we know divided by,
I guess the math you could do.
Times.
It's going to hurt
0.66.
Hurt your head.
Okay. Yeah. So we can say we were here for 26 minutes divided by 0.66. We went up $39 million in debt.
It's wild.
Get fired up.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. Pray, saints, and we'll see you next Monday. Happy Memorial Day.